welcome to today's presentation on international postgraduate scholarships here at Bournemouth University. Just to say there, in terms of the notice, all the information that we'll be talking about today, so the scholarships, the amount of scholarship, the number available, are all as of current. If there are any changes, then this will be updated on our website, so please do keep an eye on our website pages. Okay, so hopefully you'll already be familiar to a certain extent of where Bournemouth is and what Bournemouth is like as a place to study and live. So here are a few highlights for you. You can see on the map there that Bournemouth is right on the south coast of England. So right on the south coast, less than 2 hours from London by train, and there's a travel interchange right in Bournemouth town centre, so it's very easy for students to visit London, at weekends whilst they're kind of, living in Bournemouth. It's a very popular British holiday destination, and recently Bournemouth Beach was actually awarded the top beach in the UK and the fourth best in Europe, and each year it continues to live up to its reputation for quality and kind of safe beaches, so lots to enjoy all year round on the coastline. We also have lots of green parks and areas of new forest as well. So if you're not a coast lover, don't worry. You can hop on the train to areas such as Brockenhurst, the New Forest, and really enjoy places of kind of natural beauty, and you can have a picnic, on a sunny day. So Bournemouth does offer a great deal of variety in terms of the natural environment. And if you are into your water sports, Bournemouth is actually on the border of Bournemouth. The university rather is on the border of Bournemouth and Poole, and Poole actually has the second largest natural harbour in the world. And so if you're a keen water sports enthusiast, then there's plenty you can get involved in terms of, as it says there, kind of surfing, sailing, kayaking, jet skiing, so plenty to get involved with. In terms of nightlife, there's plenty for kind of young people to get involved with. A good kind of nightlife of clubs, bars, theatre, cinema, bowling, lots to get, diverse activity to get involved in. We won't watch the videos now, but there are a number of videos that you can access from our website, which give you a flavour of what the area looks like. And there's much more further information on the Bournemouth tourist websites as well. So I would encourage you, when you've got a bit of time, cup of tea in your hand on your sofa, have a look at the additional videos that we provided for you. This just gives you a flavour, so a bit of an idea of some of the local area. As I say, it's a tourist town, 165,000 population, to give you an idea of the size of Bournemouth, so probably from where most of you will be living currently, smaller, perhaps than you're used to, because we're not a big city, it is a town. But I think the benefit of that for students is that it's easy to get around, very accessible, a lot of places you can access by foot or a short bus journey. So makes it, as I say, easily accessible and relatively cheap to travel around the town centre. So each year, you can see there we have Bournemouth Air Festival, and that attracts, lots of kind of historic kind of planes involved in lots of kind of plane displays. We have the red arrows there that you can see, a famous kind of UK air display team, so they do demonstrations as part of that. We have fireworks, so usually on a Friday night there are fireworks every week in the summer. So it's a nice kind of celebratory kind of festival feel, a lot of the time here. From Poole, you can take a boat journey and to go and see the Jurassic Coast areas, which is World Heritage protected coastline, and you can take a lovely boat ride and kind of see Old Harry Rocks. There is one example where that starts, and really take in, that's the best way to see obviously the coastline, but people come from many miles away to have a look at the kind of Jurassic coastline, so that's definitely a must if you came to Bournemouth. And then you can see Corfe Castle there in the Isle of Purbeck. That is also a really nice day out in that you can get the ferry over. You can go by foot, or you can take what they call the Purbeck Breezer bus over on the ferry and spend a day in the Purbecks. And again, in terms of historical significance, in terms of Corfe Castle and beautiful countryside, it's definitely worth a visit. So please do take a look. As I say, more information is online and at Bournemouth and Poole tourism websites. In terms of the university, we became a university in 1992. We were ordered university status, so we are what is referred to as a new university in the UK, but a new university achieving lots of excellent achievements. The most recent and significant achievement is from the Quality Assurance Agency, which you may be familiar with, the QAA for short, and they audit universities every few years, and the most recent audit, we were the first university to be commended for student learning opportunities, and basically that means the learning environment, access to IT infrastructure, the quality of academics that are teaching you on your programs, the quality of academic, social and learning spaces on the campuses, and as I say, the commended rating was a great achievement. So you can have confidence in that you'd be well supported and have a vibrant academic learning support structure in place to help you. We were also awarded a Queen's Anniversary Prize, which is the highest honours list in the UK, so that's a really prestigious achievement, and that was for the work that we're doing in computer animation. So if any of you are interested in animation and studying in the media school, then that kind of accolade speaks for itself. Very, as I say, prestigious award to have achieved. In terms of what we specialise in as a university is in employment and enhancing your graduate employment prospects. You can see there that 89% of graduates are employed in further study than 6 months of graduating. So that means that we are not only giving you an academically challenging study program, but also one that is developing your applied skills, so your professional skills. And a lot of that is due to work experience that we offer at postgraduate level, and also the case studies and the real-world examples that are kind of brought into your academic programs, and the experience of the lecturers as well, who have come from industry. So not only do many of them have PhDs themselves and have experience in research, but they also come from industry, so have that applied knowledge, work experience, and networks, colleagues and links to other institutions in industry, which they bring into the programs, which obviously is a benefit for you. In terms of size, you can see there we have over 17,000 students, so we're what you'd call a middle-sized university in the UK, and 2,000 of those of that student body are students from overseas, so international non-UK students, and you can see there from 100 different countries. What I would say is that we're constantly striving to make your study experience as diverse as possible, so that you will be studying with other European international and UK to a lesser extent in your master's programs. So it's something we take very seriously, and continuously monitor kind of the makeup of cohorts on our master's courses. We have, because we've got a fair number of international students already, we have, years of experience in working with international students and supporting them, and we do have dedicated international support for you, once you arrive, and plenty of help pre-arrival and, as I say, post-arrival to make your transition clearer, easier, and so there's less for you to worry about. Excuse me. We have, there are 2 campuses we have for postgraduate students. The picture there is of our Talbot campus, and that's where the majority of our master's courses are taught, with the exception of our business school and some of our health and social science courses. So we'll talk a little bit about Lansdowne in a moment. But this is Talbot campus, and this is the larger of the 2 campuses, and this is self-contained campus. So there is some opportunity for students to live on this campus, and that's where they would study. That's where the main library is, cafeterias, bookshop, bank, all the kind of support facilities that you would require. In terms of investment, if you visited now, there's a lot of development going on, and this is because the university is investing millions in its estate. They have a strategic plan over the next kind of 10-20 years in terms of developing the estate to make it even better than it already is in terms of student-friendly access, top-notch facilities, IT infrastructure. We've got a new student centre which is opening this spring, and that will be the home to the Students' Union and many other student support facilities. So that's a brand new building that opens in the spring. And next September, so September 2016, we have Fusion 1 building, and that's a new academic learning space, a new lecture theatres, seminars, and breakout areas with a refectory, a cafe. So really, just to say, lots of investment is happening in the campus at the moment to make your experience a better one. Excuse me. That again, just a few more pictures of the library in the bottom right-hand corner there. We have, in addition to obviously physical books, we have a huge array of kind of e-journals and e-books within there. Lots of techno booths, kind of learning spaces, breakout spaces for students, as well as a language laboratory, so students can continue to improve their English in our language centre in their own time, or can pick up another European language if they want to. So if you wanted to develop your French, your Spanish, and more recently they've introduced Mandarin as well, then you can do that as an additional activity to your studies. So that's something else to think about, as part of your decision to come here. Okay, so this is the first of the more detailed slides about scholarships. So as you can see, this is for those of you who are coming from EU member states. I think the first thing to say about scholarships in general is that we offer a great number of individual awards, of significant amount scholarships, and we've enhanced the offering over the last 2 years in particular. We recognise that it's a costly business, coming into university, and we want to attract the best talent. And so we see it as an important part of our financial package to students to enable you to reach your goal and to reach your university of choice in the UK. Okay, in terms of the individual awards, you can see there's 6 for EU postgraduate students. The first is our unlimited EU academic scholarship. This one is, the nice thing about this scholarship is that you don't need to apply. If you meet our criteria for the award, you will be notified by the university, and this will be, the £2,000 will be deducted from the cost of your tuition fee. So you don't have to do a separate application form, it's an automatic process. So that's kind of good news. You can see in the key facts there on the right hand side, it sets out the broad requirements. So you would need to have completed your bachelor's degree from a recognised university with a minimum classification equivalent to 2-1. Now some of you might be thinking, well, what does 2-1? That doesn't mean anything to me and my education system. But broadly that varies between a GPA, which hopefully you'd be more familiar with, of 60 to 85%, depending on which country you're completing your bachelor studies in at the moment. On our website, there's much further information depending on which country of the EU you're currently based. And it will tell you, for example, if you're studying in France, what requirement you need from a bachelor degree there. So I would encourage you, once you get a copy of this presentation or have a look online, you'll be able to drill down and find out requirements which are much more relevant to you. So you know exactly what you need to aim for with your bachelor studies to get the postgraduate scholarship automatically. Okay? So in addition to the automatic one, we then have, as you can see, 10 BU Dean scholarships of 50% of the tuition fee, so obviously a nice amount award there. That's for students who are interested in the Media School and School of Tourism. So if you're currently looking at master's options in either of those areas, then you would be able to apply for such an award. All the fuller criteria details are on the website, but you can see again in terms of application deadlines, the next one is not that far off. It's the 31st of May this year if you're looking to study in September, or the 18th of November this year if you're thinking of January 16 entry. Just a quick note on that, the majority of our January start courses are offered by our School of Tourism and Business School, with a couple of programs also in the Media School. So the majority will apply to students applying for the Faculty of Management, which is the Tourism and Business courses. Within the business school, you can see there's 7 business school Dean scholarships. So as with the former for media and tourism, these are prestigious scholarships because they're Dean's awards. They're worth a high amount, which again would be a tuition fee reduction. So it reduces the amount of tuition fee that you have to pay. And you would need, again, 2-1 equivalent to be successful for one of those. We have a dedicated award if you're interested in the MBA. You can see there's 5 MBA Dean's Award scholarships available. So if you're considering that as an option, then again would encourage you to apply if you feel you've got a strong background for that course. And then finally we have sport and music scholarships. For the sports scholarships, you would be expected to be competing already at a national or junior international level for the sports awards. You can, as you can see there are various amounts of awards, but the highest amount is £5,000. And how you receive that money is split a few different ways, to be honest. So you can claim up to 50% off of your tuition fee, and the remaining funds would be used for things like travelling to competitive games, if you needed investment in kit, if there was a membership fee that you needed to pay, So that is how you could spend the £5,000. So as I say, some of it can be used against your tuition fee, but only a maximum of 50% of that award. And then finally, for any budding musicians out there, we have awards up to £1,000 for in the area of music. So again, you'd be expected to be kind of grade 8 in terms of your musical examination, so that's a level that we're looking for, and as I say, that could be used towards tuition or again for musical, kind of kit access to further lessons and things like that. So I would encourage you to have a good look at the website, as I say, for the full criteria, but hopefully that gives you a helpful overview for the EU scholarships. Something that's important to say is that for all our scholarships you must have an offer of your academic course before you apply. Okay, so if we receive an application, so in the 5 cases below the academic unlimited award, which is automatic, and all other cases you need to apply. If we receive an application from you but you haven't yet applied for your taught master's program, I'm afraid we can't consider that. Every year we receive quite a high number of applications from students who haven't yet applied for their academic course program, but we can't, as I say, we can't help you until you've submitted that and have got an offer in place. Okay, so that's an important factor to think about. You can apply for up to two scholarships, but you would only be successful for one, but obviously that would be the higher award. So if there are 2 that actually you're eligible for, that's fine, but you wouldn't be able to receive, both of those scholarships. So do bear that in mind when you're applying. You can download applications from our website. So there's a clear section for postgraduate scholarships, and then it's divided into EU, UK, international. Okay, so click on the section relevant to you, and that's where you can download the application forms required. For those of you that are coming from outside the EU, there are a number of scholarships also for you. Criteria, as you can see on the right hand side there in key facts, remains the same. That's a standard criteria in terms of application deadlines, in terms of the academic requirements that we need, and the fact that it's paid as a tuition fee reduction as opposed to money given to you when you're here. So again, we have the Unlimited BU Academic Excellence Scholarships. Its value is £3,000, applicable to all countries, so irrespective of where you're living. And again, no need to apply for the scholarship. So obviously that's a nice, amount off your tuition fee, and you'd be notified once we've seen evidence of your transcripts, your GPA, and obviously you've got an offer for one of our master's courses. We also have 10 Vice-Chancellor's scholarships, so this is our most prestigious scholarship available, which is 50% of the postgrad tuition fee. For this we require a first-class degree or equivalent, so typically we're looking for a GPA of 70 to 90%. And you can see there the countries where students, we would be looking for you to be resident. Okay, so China, India, Nigeria, South Korea, Thailand, Turkey, USA and Vietnam. Each year we tend to change the focus of the Vice-Chancellor scholarships, and they're very much in reflection of the kind of activity that we're doing in the market at that time, reflecting partnerships perhaps that we're developing. So again, it's worth keeping your eye on the criteria, eligibility criteria attached to that scholarship, because it does vary academic year to academic year. As you can see there, there's one additional 100% scholarship for the most promising student applying. So that is our most prestigious category by far, and the only one where you can get the 100% of your fees paid. Again, we have 20 BU Dean's scholarships, 50%. So all countries are eligible, and this is for every school with the exception of the business school, because they have additional scholarships below. And there are 9 of those for the business school Dean scholarships, 50%. And again, we have, in terms of eligibility criteria, we have specified that you have to be resident in the following markets. So that's Russia, Turkey, Nigeria, China, India and South Korea. So if you're currently resident in one of those countries, then this would be open to you. If you're applying for and have got an offer for a postgrad business school course. Again, we offer MBA specific scholarships open to all country, so it doesn't matter where you're currently resident, but it is for MBA study only, but again, generous award of 50%. And finally, on this slide, we have Business School Dean's ASEAN Scholarship. So again, in reflection of that region of the world and activity and partnership development that we have there. You can see you would have to be resident in one of the countries listed there. But if you are and you're thinking of studying in a business portfolio either this September or January 16, then you may want to apply for one of those awards. Okay, so the last few here. If you are interested in applying to our media school for journalism, the MA in Multimedia Journalism, there's a specific award for you, which is the Raham Al Farah International Scholarship. But you'd be required to have a first-class degree to be considered for that. So again, to give you an idea, a GPA of between 70 and 90% for that particular course. If, however, you're interested in public health, there are unlimited scholarships for public health to the value of £3,250. Again, irrespective of where you're currently resident, that doesn't matter. As long as you apply and are accepted onto the course before the 1st of June 2015, there's no need to apply for additionally for the scholarship, so you'd be automatically considered for that. So if you're considering options for public health at the moment, then you may want to, that may help sway your decision of where to study. We also then have partnership scholarships. Excuse me. You may be studying at Communications University, China, or Jahind College in India. If you are, then there's specific partnership scholarships that you'd be entitled to as outlined there. And again, all the full details are on the website. Or if you're joining us, listening in from South America today, if you are in Colombia, we have links with a number of institutions, as you can see there, where you'd be eligible for 20% off the full tuition fee of our Masters Awards. Okay, so as you can see, a high degree of choice there for students and something for everybody. But as I say, they're all competitive in terms of academic merit. So even for the automatic awards, you have to achieve a minimum threshold to be considered. And for those that you have to apply for, which is the majority, we will consider your personal statement on your scholarship application form, as well as your academic and English achievements. And that's a really important part of your application. And a high degree of our choice, particularly for Dean's Awards offered by the schools and faculties, is based on the quality of statement and what you feel you can bring to the programme and how you would act as an ambassador for the university if you were awarded a scholarship. Okay, again, hopefully most of you will be aware of academic subjects that we offer here at Bournemouth, but starting with media, we have a very prestigious and famous media school here at Bournemouth University. We are a Centre for Excellence in Media Practice, KEMP. We are home to the National Centre for Computer Animation in the UK, that is held here. And basically what that means in both of those examples is that we've received a lot of funding from the UK government to be set up as a Centre for Excellence in Media. So that basically means first-class industry standard facilities, so TV studios, radio studios, as well as then for the animation side, motion capture studios, animation suites, and access to, again, industry professionals. So lots of expertise they brought from industry into this area. The school frequently welcomes guest lecturers and practitioners and is very well connected with industry. A number of our graduates have gone on to enjoy Oscar success for animation production. And again, recently at the most recent Oscars, there was an award for Media School Graduate. So just some of the highlights there for the Media School, but as I say, particularly if you're media production, if you're computer animation, in addition to our other kind of marketing communications programs, then do take a look online in terms of, you know, what the school has to offer. It can be quite competitive because of the high caliber of the courses and reputation in the school to get a place. But if you have a strong academic background, if you have a very focused statement and you're dedicated and passionate about media at Bournemouth, then please do take a look and submit your application. Okay, so going from media to applied sciences, if you are interested in kind of applied geography, as you can see there, anthropology, archaeology, crime scene science, then this could be the school for you. We have a crime scene science centre on the campus, which is used for kind of mock investigations. You can see students in the slides there out on field work in terms of archaeological digs, and lots of exciting developments and projects that students get involved with across the spectrum of subjects offered within applied sciences. So again, please do have a look online to see what opportunities there are for you in that area. If you're more kind of technological, you may be interested in subjects within design, engineering, computing and creative technology. Again, as you can kind of see there from the images, industry standard equipment, laboratories, work stations for students. So that's really what you know, makes us different really, and kind of signifies what we have to contribute to a student's career, is the industry networks that are in place, but also the equipment that you use as part of your studies here. So it's, you know, applied focus. And I'd encourage you again to have a look at the Festival of Design and Innovation. You can see there's a link there, and each year undergraduate product design students put on a show. So their final kind of designs that they produce are open to public festival, and sometimes various projects will be, the idea will be taken up and developed commercially, and students, you know, in a number of cases have had a lot of kind of commercial success by external companies coming in and spotting their designs as part of the Festival in Design and Innovation. So I'd encourage you to have a look at that area as well. We have a business school, and you can see there a number of different areas that you can study, including the MBA. We offer programs in consumer behaviour. We focus on transition economics. We offer programs in intellectual property, for law, and the MBA gives you the opportunity for some specialism alongside the standard business units. We're currently undergoing application for AACSB accreditation and offer work experience as part of our Masters as well. So if you're looking for an academic Masters that combines work experience, then take a look at what we have to offer. All students would complete work experience in stage 3 of the programme alongside the completion of the research project. The Postgrad Business School is based at our Lansdowne campus. So I talked a little bit earlier about the separation of 2 campuses. So one on the Talbot campus, and then this one is in the centre of town. A very nice modern executive business centre right in the business district of town, and also about 5 to 7 minutes walk from the beach. So again, a lovely location to be situated for your studies. We also have a school for tourism. Both the business school and the School of Tourism actually now come under the umbrella of the Faculty of Management, and so we're working much closer in terms of research, in terms of student experience for students either side of the faculty. A lot of a very good reputation internationally. And actually in the recent REF, so the Research Excellent Framework results, the School of Tourism actually ranked first for the quality of internationally relevant research. And business, I should have mentioned, came 9th in the UK for world leading impact. So again, a couple of kind of indicators of quality there. Postgrad courses are also accredited by the UN World Tourism Organization and TEDQual qualifications, and they're only one of 3 institutions in the UK to have the TEDQual accreditation. So again, it's that kind of kite mark of quality and recognition really for that industry. So very research active internationally. They also edit and produce a number of the key textbooks and journals within the area of tourism and hospitality. So lots of expertise and a prestigious, school at BU. It may be that you're interested in health and care, social care studies, and you can see there a wide variety from psychology to social policy, exercise science, nutrition. So a broad portfolio there, including the social sciences as well. They again are taught at the Lansdowne campus, so that's where our postgraduate subjects are in that area. The majority of those, I should say, I think psychology is actually on the Talbot campus, but most of those will be in the Lansdowne campus, which is, as I say, a set of discrete buildings rather than a self-contained campus with everything together. Okay. So a quick look at accommodation, because we appreciate that alongside tuition fees, scholarships, accommodation usually is up there in terms of biggest area of concern and where I know students have lots of questions. So the good news is that we do guarantee BU accommodation for all new overseas students, irrespective of whether you join us in September or January. There are a number of different options. Some of them, as I mentioned earlier, there are some, quite few, to be honest, at postgrad level, but some postgraduate opportunities actually on the Talbot campus itself in postgraduate studio apartments, and otherwise we have halls of residence. Most of those tend to be nearer to the Bournemouth town centre, the Lansdowne campus, but we also do have some provision in Poole. And Poole was the town that borders Bournemouth, and the Talbot campuses really sits on the border of both Bournemouth and Poole, to give you an idea of location. As you can see, all of the rooms are private study bedrooms, and with most having ensuite bathrooms. I know, again, that's usually a key of concern to students, and that's what students really want. So in most cases we provide the ensuite bathroom. And there's some limited accommodation if you're thinking of coming with a partner or with your family. Again, we'd encourage you to contact accommodation early if you're in that situation, because provision is more limited. We also have a scheme, what we call uni-let accommodation, and that is basically university managed accommodation in and around the Bournemouth area. So it's not BU owned, the accommodation is not owned by the university, but we manage it to make sure that it's safe, it's of a sufficient quality excuse me, for students to live. And so there's a number of options for students. If you couldn't get a place in halls excuse me, if you couldn't have a place in a PG studio apartment, then there's help available for, as I say, the uni-let accommodation. And they're located in a lot of the suburb areas of Bournemouth, and most are beyond the bus routes. So again, easy for you to transfer between your accommodation and from either campus. As you can see there, all inclusive of bills and your BU bus pass to shuttle between. So a few images there of student accommodation. Purbeck House, as you can see, is at the Lansdowne campus. One of the houses in Winton. So quite often students will house share with 4 or 5 other students. The Student Village on Talbot campus at the bottom, as I say there. PG studios, we have about 20, 25, so it is much more limited. It does tend to be undergraduate students that live on the Talbot campus directly. And last one, just an example of an inside Lyme Regis house near to both campuses. Okay. And then, of course, it's not all about study. We want you to, to enjoy Bournemouth, as a place to live, get involved with as much as you can outside of your studies with the local community. But there are a lot you can get involved with sports-wise whilst you're studying with us. And there's a varying membership, so depending on how often you perhaps want to use the gym or what your budget is like, there's various membership to our gym facilities to hopefully suit differing student needs. We offer lots of individual classes for aerobics, spinning, yoga, lots of classes that you can go in on an ad hoc basis, or you can buy a sequence of courses if you know you're going to be going regularly. Excuse me. There's also, obviously we talked earlier about the sports scholarships, so we're hoping that we're going to attract some budding sportsmen and women who are already perhaps, training with your home teams or indeed at international level. And there's a number of kind of team sports that you can have access to develop your skills in that area. And as you can see, our kind of focus sports are cricket, golf, tennis and volleyball. So if you have a particular interest and ability in that area, then that is where, in terms of activity levels, in terms of focus, investment and support from the university, those are the 4 key areas. The gym and kind of fitness facilities had an investment a couple of years ago, so it's all new facilities and also areas where you can go for coaching, strengthening and conditioning. So it's not just about the physical sport itself, it's kind of supporting you and your health more broadly. So I'd encourage you to have a look at further information about how you can get involved, meet other students, and keep up your kind of sports activities whilst you're with us. Okay, and then finally, in terms of other kind of help and advice, you're well supported at the university, and you can see there in terms of academic support, if you need, if you have any additional learning needs, a dedicated team in our library can help you with those. I've mentioned the Language Centre, which is also in the library, so if you want to continue to develop your English or other European language whilst you're with us, then you can do. And study support, you know, there are sessions throughout the year that are run in terms of critical analysis, academic writing, improving your presentations, referencing, and the all-important avoiding plagiarism session. You know, we recognise you're coming from very different educational backgrounds and with very different practices, you know, in terms of how you learn and how you're assessed. And so those sessions to really help you get to grips with academic learning here and how for you to get the most out of the advice available. So we would encourage you to have a good look at the learning support that's available. And then finally, health and well-being. We have a multi-faith chaplaincy here on the main Talbot campus, and as well as you know, if you have specific concerns that you want to go and talk to a chaplain about, it's a nice, reflective, quiet part of the campus as well, just to have a bit of space. We have a medical centre on the campus and a counselling team as well, should you have any difficulties whilst you're studying with us, and there's a team on hand to help. Okay, so hopefully, as I say, I've answered some of your questions already in terms of what international PG scholarships are available. As you can see there, there's lots more information which you can access online in terms of when perhaps a representative will be in your country, so you can ask them specific questions. If you're at the stage of applying, then there's details of representatives, otherwise known as agents, that we work with internationally. There's details of future seminars and online chats. So again, if you feel you've got follow-up, you know, kind of questions, there'll be other opportunities to learn more about your courses of interest as well as about the university in general. Or if you're planning a trip to the UK and actually you'd like to physically come onto the campus and have a look at one of our open days, then you can do so. So as I say, I hope that's given you a flavour of what studying at BU is like today, an overview of the scholarship provision available, and I think we'll now take any questions. So thank you very much for listening.